Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I also hope that you are staying safe at the safety of your homes. Welcome to AESP 361 Aerospace Lab 1. I am Mustafa Mobli. I'm going to be your instructor for this course, and hopefully you're going to take a lot of more courses with me as well. I teach a lot more courses for the aerospace program, and this is going to be your first lecture. We are going to discuss in this first lecture, it's going to be a short lecture. We are only going to discuss the syllabus, and this will be only an introduction to the course, essentially how the course is going to be conducted, and how to deal with Blackboard, the grading system, all of those things that you may have any questions about. Okay. So today we are going to discuss the course, the syllabus, my expectations, and what are the goals for the class, what are the topics we are going to cover, and the rest of it, the fly basics parts, I'm going to start talking about those from next week. Because of the fact that the lectures are going to be online and the labs are going to be face-to-face, we have to go a little into a little more detail about how everything is conducted. So we probably need more time. So the course, let me actually go to the syllabus. Okay. In general, if you want to deal with the content of the class, you have to sign into Blackboard, and you are going to see something like this when you sign into Blackboard. Here is where the announcements are gonna be posted at the My Announcement tabs. All of the contents are gonna be posted in the course contents. If you want to have some sort of a discussion, or if you want to create a group, you can do it using the discussion and group tab here on the left side of the page, of course. We are not going to use the Blackboard Collaborate Ultra much. The department actually has decided to use Microsoft Teams because we have come to the conclusion that Microsoft Teams is easier to deal with. So if we decide to have a live session, we are gonna use Microsoft Teams, but keep in mind that I will be at your labs beside your TAs. I will just be there to answer any questions you may have about the course, okay? Or any question you might have about the lecture. So I don't think we're gonna have any live sessions unless that they close down the campus again and we have to move everything online. Okay, so wherever there's a new content, you can come here. You see these folders, like folder 00 is introduction and syllabus, and you're gonna find the syllabus and the recording for this session in this folder, which I'm currently recording. This is gonna be your zeros lecture, if you will, in which we discuss the course material, all of the grading system, and everything else. And yeah, so let me know if you have any questions about how to use the Blackboard. Okay, so let's go to your syllabus. In the section 2 of the syllabus, you always have access to my information. You have my email, mobli@cec.sc.edu. I am usually quick to respond to emails. I'm sorry about that. But just in case I didn't respond to your email immediately, give it a couple of hours, maximum 48 hours. I will definitely get back to you and talk to you. If I didn't respond to your email in 48 hours, make sure to send a follow-up email. I may have missed your email. But it definitely won't take me more than 48 hours to respond to your emails. We also have my office phone listed here that you can always call, and I will definitely answer if I'm in the office. I'm working on a system to divert these calls to my cell phone, so I can always have access to this. And the office hours are going to be on Tuesdays from 2:50 p.m. and 4:50 p.m. I try to stay in my office during these times, so you can come by. But I would rather if we talk through Microsoft Teams or Zoom or email or whatever, because I want to like reduce the face-to-face exposure as much as possible. And I'm keeping in mind that whenever you are on campus, you have to wear your masks and you have to stay 6 feet apart from your classmates and everyone else. These rules will be enforced in the classes, all of the classes I'm teaching. There is no textbook, there is no specific textbook for this class. The textbook you see, you don't need to purchase. I'm not gonna follow this textbook. This is a textbook we always use for lab courses, and it's just a holdover from the previous mechanical labs, mechanical engineering labs. Class meeting time is supposed to be on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 8:30 a.m. to 9:20 p.m. But since we are going to have an only online classes, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna record the lecture that is specific to a specific lab. So it may be that lecture may take like 2 hours, 3 hours, I don't know. But I'm gonna record the lecture at one sitting, and then just upload it. So lectures are gonna be focused on the lab that we are gonna have that week. So you just have to make sure that you watch the lectures before coming to the lab. And labs are held in the Aerospace lab, which is 300 Main A02020, most of them. Some of them, especially for the Aerospace AESP 361, some of them are held in McNair. I will definitely send you an email before each lab and make sure that you know where to go for the labs. Okay. We are gonna cover a range of topics from flight mechanics. We will have a small discussion on statistics. We will have a lot of mechanical testings, tensile compression, fatigue, torsion, and bending. We will have a lab on composite manufacturing and composite tensile testing, and we also have some thermal conductivity and fluid dynamics analysis. And we'll get to be more familiar with wind tunnels. Your course outcomes are essentially make sure you study the course outcomes. You are supposed to be able to do these when you come out of this course, so you will be tested on all of these outcomes, right? So your lab reports, your quizzes, your whatever are geared towards making sure that these course outcomes are met. And we also have the lab schedule on the syllabi here. As you can see, it's a pretty comprehensive lab schedule. We have 12 total labs, and you are going to have to write, I think, 10 lab reports. I have to count them again, but I think 10 total lab report. 10 or yes, 10, 8 or 10. 8, maybe 8. I'm sorry, maybe 8 total lab reports. But the lab reports can be fairly short as long as you just cover whatever I've asked you. You should be fine. Then your first lab is going to start from August 25th. So essentially in 1 week and a half. Next week we are not going to have any labs, in which you are going to learn to use a flight simulator to fly an airplane. Okay. And we are going to continue the discussion. We are going to have different labs. Let's get to the grading. So grading policy, you are going to have some quizzes. You are going to have to submit technical lab reports, and you have to provide a presentation. Also, engagement in the lab is very important to me. So if you come to the lab and you just wait somewhere, look at your colleagues doing the experiments, and if you are not engaged in the lab, essentially, if you don't do the experiments in the lab, you are going to lose 20%. Keep that in mind. It is very important. Your engagement in the lab is very, very important. And I mean, this semester I'm going to be in the lab with you, so I'm going to grade this myself. I'm going to give you this grade myself, but from the next semesters, which I assume you're going to have the lab 2 with me as well, this part is going to be graded by your TAs. Okay, formatting of the lab report is included here. I will upload a rubric sometime during the next week with a little more detail, so you know what to submit. And your quiz dates are here. Your quizzes are gonna be uploaded each Friday, and you will have a full day to take the quiz essentially and answer the questions. But during that full day, as soon as you click on the link, you will have 15 minutes, 50 minutes to submit your answers. There are gonna be a lot of quizzes. I think 9 or 10 quizzes total. Yes, 10 quizzes total. All of them are graded. So essentially, each quiz is gonna be 2% of your grade, total final grade. Quizzes are gonna be focused on lectures. So in some quizzes, I may ask you to solve a problem using the equation you were taught in the lectures. In some quizzes, I may ask you to explain a phenomenon or explain a test and experiments or a standard, something like that. And you just have to be able to answer everything. Please let me know if you have any questions about the syllabus. As I mentioned, your engagement in the labs are very important to me. Also, your engagement in the lectures are very important to me. So you just have to make sure that you are engaged in the labs and in the process of learning, essentially. Just have to make sure that you are engaged. Okay, so let's go back to the presentation. Office hours, we talked about office hours, and we also talked about the text. There may be additional reading materials that I will definitely post online. Your lab instructions will be posted 1 week before each lab. Make sure to go over the lab instruction, make sure to come prepared. Just a quick note here. So lectures will be online. I may have actually included this here. Okay. And but labs will be recorded. Your TAs will record the labs and post it online. So if you couldn't make it to a lab, or there are some people who don't want to come to campus, who want to have a full online experience, which is for a lab course, it is not a very useful experience, but some people are in a specific circumstances and they just want to do it online. That's all right. We are going to record all the labs for you and post it before the actual lab. So what's going to happen is that your TAs are going to do the full lab, complete lab, and we will just upload a data Excel sheet. We can just use those, and write the lab report. You just have to make sure that you go over the lab, you just have to make sure you watch the lab. And what I'm going to do is that for the people who are not going to come to the labs, I'm going to design specific quizzes that make sure that you guys are watching the lab recording. So we will have face-to-face instructions, and we will also have lab recordings. And let's see. The focus is given to the labs always. This is a lab course, so whatever we do is gonna be geared toward the lab. If we talk about a phenomena, if we include some equations, all of it is gonna be geared toward the lab. And lectures that are meant to prepare you for the lab. What's gonna happen is we usually don't need 3 lectures a week to prepare for the lab. Sometimes 1 lecture is enough, but we are going to keep 2 lectures. And what I mean by that is that for each lab, for each week, you are going to receive a 100-minute recording from me at least, right? Around that ballpark, like 90 to 100 minutes, 2 50-minute recordings essentially from me. At max, that's the maximum. It may be less than that, but that's the maximum you're gonna receive from me, and they are going to be just prepare you for the lab. There are some specific cases that the recording may go over 100 minutes, but in general, for next year, if you take the Aerospace 362 class, what's going to happen is that there won't be any classes on Fridays. Okay. Again, quizzes will be given on Fridays, and all of the quizzes are online. All of the quizzes and exams are going to be online. I think we need to talk about your final presentation a bit. So what's going to happen in the lab 2 and lab 1? Sorry.